think my copy of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is haunted. Check this out. When I hit them at low percents, they go outwards like normal. But when I hit them at high percents... When Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was early in development, the developers had to figure out how the game's core mechanics worked. They added some new things, like rock, paper, scissors on strong attacks, and unique projectile reflecting mechanics that weren't in other games. But when they looked at the game's physics engine and decided how that worked, they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna be different." You see, every platform fighter since the original Smash Bros. Used a pretty simple idea for what happens when you get hit. You get launched at a specific angle with a certain amount of force, typically modified by the amount of damage you have. This makes things pretty easy to reason about. Mario's up tilt hits you at a 96-degree angle, kinda softly. His up smash hits you at 83 degrees, kinda hard. Simple. Every platform fighter, like Rivals of Ether, or Framemakers, or Brawlout, they all work this way. But Nick decided to make things different. Instead of having a launch angle, they had a displacement angle. And instead of a knockback force, they had a displacement distance, which is very weird. This means that the game calculates how far your end position is after being hit, and works backwards to figure out the launch to get you there. The devs thought this would make it easier to figure out which attacks would kill. If the move displaced you off stage, you died. Easy, right? Actually no. Take a move like SpongeBob's jab. At low percents, it hits people outwards. At high percents, it shoots them straight off the top, which is very weird. This is the result of NASB's bizarre physics engine. In SpongeBob's case, his jab is being calculated to hit the person outwards, but to take a very long time to get them there. The only way to make them land that far away after that much time is to send them almost straight upwards with just a little bit of forward momentum. It's like the devs decided 2 plus 2 should equal fish sometimes when coding how gravity worked. This is very confusing for everyone involved, and don't feel bad if that explanation made no sense, because it also made no sense to the game devs. To make things even more complex, Nickelodeon handled hit stun, the amount of time that you'd be stunned from attacks, differently than any other game. Normally, hit stun is what it says on the tin. When you're hit, you are stunned for a certain amount of time. Simple. But the Nick's devs decided to say, "F it, we're going to be different." They decided to make hit stun not just how long you were stunned, but also, and stay with me on this, how much gravity to compensate for when you're flying and how fast you are flying. Let me re-emphasize, this is highly bizarre. In Nick, a low knockback move with no hit stun sends you flying very fast and kills you. And a high knockback move with a very small amount of hit stun might make you gently float upwards above the ground. I'd go into why, but the math is actually so complicated that it took me, someone who has an actual math degree, way too long to figure out. Things get even worse when you look at attacks that hit downwards, like spikes. With this physics engine I've described, downwards hitting moves would hit you upwards to compensate for gravity.
Hey there, Mr. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl developer guy. I'm Korra's down air. I slap people downwards, right? No, you see, you forgot to compensate for gravity. You knock them up. But I'm Korra's down air. I'm slapping them downward. They get hit downwards, right? I don't knock people up. I didn't know you were such a prude.
This behavior is obviously wrong, so the devs made downwards hitting moves ignore gravity to avoid that bit of weirdness, but they left all the other weirdness. This resulted in the notorious slow fall attacks, which made Michelangelo the most overpowered character when the game came out. It meant that attacks in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl have no consistent launch angle. An attack at low percents hits someone outwards may hit them upwards at high percents, or even vice versa. This made it very difficult to reason about how attacks functioned in Nick. It made it very hard for developers to make new characters and to balance the game. Every single move required extensive trial and error to make it work right. You couldn't just say, "I need an attack that hits someone off the side kinda hard." You needed to bust out the abacus and slam it on your face a couple times until you get it right. And that's assuming it was even possible to get the numbers right with this physics engine.
Hey, Marcus Cruz, I got that new Jorgen Monstranko character design doc for you. Thought you might want to take a perusal before I send it off.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Jorgen Punch strangles jab. Jorgen punches forward, hitting the opponent outwards at a low angle. Okay. Maybe we can set the attack like a 15-degree angle. Then no, that's sure acute. I forgot you can't just have a low angle attack because the gravity compensation will turn into a high angle attack. Okay. Maybe I can reduce the hit stun to make the angle lower, but then no! Then the attack will hit them really hard, and then the move will instantly kill the opponent. Maybe I can reduce the angle more, but then no! Then it'll reduce gravity, and the attack will spike them. Ah!
So what do you think? I really like the part where he scrambles.
I quit.
Now, Nick's ways of doing physics isn't necessarily wrong, but it is weird and unexpected. You'll often hear people say,
Dude, this game just feels so weird. It's not like as bad as I remember though.
and most people can't put their finger on why it feels weird, just that it isn't quite right. It makes Hits and Nick feel like they belong in an uncanny valley of being eerily similar to Smash, but different enough to make you feel uncomfortable. And add in the often janky and unpolished animations, and you have some real problems. And the developers knew just how much of a mistake they had made early on in the game's design, because deep in Nick's codebase, there's a secret bit of unused code, suspiciously called Slap Knockback, named after the Udacity devs' other platform fighter, Slap City. You see, Slap City used the normal way of implementing knockback and hit stun. This is a remnant of a failed attempt to port the Slap City physics engine into Nick, but alas, the developers ran out of time to make it work, so we got the game that we have today. Although, as an avid fan of the game, I think that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl's unusual physics overall work, I think it did not overall work for the game, and it ended up costing the dev team a lot of time and pain. Getting characters attacked right just took way longer than it should have because of this unusual physics engine. If folks are interested in a much more deep technical dive into how Nick's physics engine works, let me know in the comment section below, and be sure to like the video. If there's enough demand for it, I'll record a video where I go deep into the details of how it works. Now, if you excuse me, I think I found a way to monetize my haunted Nick Brawl game. Hello everyone, my name is Nick Brawl Guy, and welcome back to Five Nights at Dutchman's.